Ever wondered how the shape of Vietnam came to be as it is today? This slender S-shaped nation nestled along the eastern edge of the Indochinese Peninsula is no accident of nature. It's a testament to a rich geological and geographical history that has been unfolding for millions of years. From the shifting tectonic plates to the forces of erosion, the story of Vietnam's formation is as fascinating as it is complex. Well, sit back as we voyage through time to unravel the geological story of Vietnam. Our journey begins millions of years ago, when the land we now call Vietnam was underwater. Imagine a world where the continents as we know them did not exist. A world where the area now known as Vietnam was submerged beneath ancient seas. It was during this time, millions of years ago, that the story of Vietnam's geological birth begins. This tale is one of violent clashes and slow, inexorable drifts. It's a drama that unfolds on a stage set by the Earth's crust, and it's powered by the ceaseless movements of the Earth's mantle. The crust, our planet's outermost layer, is not a single unbroken shell, but a mosaic of massive slabs called tectonic plates. These plates are perpetually on the move, albeit at a pace slower than a snail's crawl. Now, let's zoom into the region we're interested in. The eventual birthplace of Vietnam was once part of the ocean floor, part of the larger Eurasian tectonic plate. But things started to change when this plate began to collide with the Indo-Australian plate, a colossal event that took place over millions of years. Fast forward to a few million years later, and the land begins to take on a familiar shape. The geological clock ticks on, and the stage is set for a magnificent transformation. Over millennia, the forces of nature worked tirelessly, sculpting Vietnam's distinctive landscape. High mountains began to pierce the sky, while rivers carved their way through the land, creating fertile deltas in their wake. In the north, the Hoang Len Son Range, the rooftop of Indochina, rose majestically. The mountains, with their jagged peaks and lush valleys, became home to a myriad of plant and animal species, each adapting to the unique conditions of their high-altitude homes. Yet, they also presented a formidable barrier, shaping the human settlements that sprung up in their shadows. Meanwhile, to the west, the mighty Mekong River began its journey. Its waters, flowing from the Tibetan Plateau, coursed through 6 countries before reaching Vietnam. Here, the river fanned out, depositing rich sediment and creating the verdant Mekong Delta. This fertile land not only nurtured a diverse array of flora and fauna, but also became the rice bowl of the nation. Parallel to the Mekong, the Red River etched its path. Originating from China's Yunnan province, this river too formed a fertile delta, the Red River Delta. Unlike its southern counterpart, the Red River Delta was not just an agricultural hub, but also a cradle of civilization, where ancient Vietnamese cultures thrived. These geographical features, the mountains, rivers, and deltas, weren't just static elements of the landscape. They were dynamic forces shaping the biodiversity and human settlement patterns of Vietnam. The mountains acted as natural fortresses and biodiversity hotspots. The rivers and deltas, with their fertile soils, not only supported agriculture but also served as conduits for trade and cultural exchange. Thus, over millions of years, the relentless forces of nature chiseled and molded, breathed life into the land, and created the Vietnam we recognize today. A land of stunning contrasts, of high mountains and sprawling deltas, of rich biodiversity and vibrant human cultures. The forces of nature had thus sculpted a unique geographical masterpiece. As humans began to settle and cultivate the land, they too played a part in shaping Vietnam's geography. The dawn of agriculture marked a significant turning point. With the domestication of plants and animals, people began to modify the environment to suit their needs. In the Red River and Mekong Delta regions, for instance, a network of canals was constructed to irrigate the paddy fields. This not only transformed the physical landscape but also led to the rise of wet rice cultivation, making Vietnam one of the world's leading rice exporters today. Then came urbanization, a process that intensified in the 20th century. As cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City expanded, they began to encroach upon the surrounding rural areas. This has resulted in a shift in the landscape, from predominantly rural to increasingly urban. The construction of roads, buildings, and other infrastructure has altered the terrain and even the course of rivers. demonstrating the profound influence of human activities on the geographical landscape. But while these developments have brought economic progress, they have also had adverse effects on the environment. Deforestation, for instance, has been a major issue in Vietnam. The clearing of forests for agriculture and urbanization has led to soil erosion and loss of biodiversity. This not only changes the physical landscape but also disrupts the ecological balance, affecting the livelihoods of people who depend on these ecosystems. Moreover, with the advent of industrialization, pollution has become a growing concern. The discharge of waste into rivers and the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere have not only degraded the environment but also contributed to climate change. This in turn poses a threat to Vietnam's geography, as rising sea levels could submerge low-lying areas and alter the country's coastline. Thus, the interaction between humans and the environment added another layer to the geographical tapestry of Vietnam. These human-induced changes serve as a stark reminder of our responsibility to protect and conserve our planet, for the geography we shape today will determine the world we live in tomorrow. Today, the geography of Vietnam is a testament to its rich and varied past. The country is a long, narrow strip of land, stretching over 1,000 miles from north to south. It's a land of contrasts, where soaring mountains melt into flat rice fields and bustling cities give way to serene, untouched landscapes. In the north, you'll find the Hoang Linh Son mountain range, home to the highest peak in Indochina, Phan Xipan. This is a land of steep, rugged terrain and mist-shrouded peaks, a far cry from the lowlands of the Red River Delta, where the capital city, Hanoi, is nestled. The central region is dominated by the Truong Son Mountains, a formidable range that has shaped the country's history and culture. Here, the landscape is marked by narrow coastal plains and fertile river valleys, offering an abundance of natural resources. In the south, the landscape changes yet again. The Mekong Delta, a labyrinth of waterways and lush green rice fields, stretches as far as the eye can see. It's one of the most productive agricultural regions in the world and a crucial part of the country's economy. These diverse geographical features have a significant influence on Vietnam's culture and lifestyle. The mountains, for instance, are home to numerous ethnic groups, each with their own unique traditions and way of life. The fertile plains and deltas, on the other hand, have given rise to a predominantly agricultural society where rice cultivation is a way of life. Moreover, these landscapes also play a pivotal role in the country's economy. The mountains are rich in minerals and provide ample opportunities for hydropower generation. The deltas and lowlands, with their fertile soils and abundant water supply, are the backbone of the country's agricultural sector. From the highlands in the north to the Mekong Delta in the south, every geographical feature of Vietnam has a tale to tell. Each is a testament to the country's rich heritage, its resilience, and its enduring spirit. So, what can we take away from this journey through the geographical history of Vietnam? Let's recap. We've learned that Vietnam's geographical history is as rich and varied as the landscape itself. From the ancient geological formations that gave birth to this land, to the powerful forces of nature that shaped its rugged mountains, fertile plains, and meandering rivers, Vietnam is a testament to the dynamic and ever-changing earth. Our journey then took us through the ages, observing how human activities have left their marks on this landscape. From the terraced rice fields that ripple across the hillsides to the bustling cities that have sprung up along the coastline, every chapter of Vietnam's history is etched into its geography, a living testament to the resilience and ingenuity of its people. In the present day, we've seen how Vietnam's geography continues to play a pivotal role in shaping the country's destiny. Its strategic location, diverse ecosystems, and rich natural resources are key drivers of its economy, society, and culture. We've also touched upon the challenges that come with this complex geography, from managing natural disasters to preserving biodiversity. Yet it's clear that Vietnam is rising to these challenges, harnessing its geographical advantages while striving to mitigate the risks. Indeed, understanding the geography of Vietnam gives us a deeper appreciation of this fascinating country and the intricate interplay between nature and human activities.